Good day. Thanks for joining us on location with Murray and Jeff. Jeff's behind camera. This is episode number 8 with a guest that comes highly recommended by Carol Gass. Thank you for coming. So you've come highly recommended. I hear you have lots of stories. So where were you born? Where were you raised? And what brought you?
Well, originally from Calgary, and came up to bounced around Canada for a bit, school and work, and then ended up in Prince George in 1995, and did a few things here. Looked after the Hubble Homestead for a number of years, and looked after the events there, and then also at the museum and different things, and then started at the CN Centre in 2001. So I've been there since then, and it's been great.
Yeah,
hockey's a major part of what we do.
Yeah,
right?
It's great.
The Cougars are our main tenant. They are the for Northern British Columbia, they're the team. I would argue, right?
Yeah.
Right, they're the prime team, and for the North, our closest competitor obviously is Kamloops, 6 hours away. So we draw people from all over Northern BC to see the hockey games, and we are very privileged for the quality of hockey that they're bringing to the North. Yeah, the Prince George Cougars are a very solid organization. They've got great ownership. The management team that they have there, we're very lucky that they're just invested in the community. They strive to do a wonderful job as far as making hockey exciting within Prince George, Northern BC, and they're just great partners. So yeah, we could not be more privileged and fortunate to have the people that we get to work with.
That's amazing. Speaking of partners, can you talk about the rodeo? How do you partner with the rodeo and they run their thing too?
So the rodeo right now, so next to the CN Centre, we have the outdoor rodeo grounds. And so that's looked after by the BC Northern Exhibition, the BCNE. So they look after that site right now. So we because they're neighbors to ours, and we have things that happen simultaneously that we work together with that. So they kind of manage the various rodeo parts out there. But we have had rodeo in the CN Centre. So the last time
in the CN Centre, okay.
In the CN Centre. So we had West of the Rockies Pro Rodeo in 2006, 7, and 8.
Wow! So you bring in dirt and you set it all up.
The whole deal. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So we did that 3 times, and then we also had at least 2 or 3 bull riding events.
Nice.
Just particular bull riding. And then also there were some amateur rodeos as well. So we've had rodeo inside, and they're awesome events. These buildings like ours are designed to host a multitude of different events, whether that's concerts, trade shows, hockey games. The one thing people may not realize about the CN Centre is that when it was built, kind of a unique feature of it, it was designed to be able to expand from Olympics, from a NHL-sized ice, which is 85 feet wide, to Olympic-sized feet, 100 feet wide.
Really? I didn't know that.
So
you could host Olympics.
So we could host Olympic Games, or Olympic speed skating events. And then recently we've had some national and provincial championships this past winter, which have been really well received because Prince George has great ice. The facility is fantastic for hosting those events and is at the Olympic size. So,
can you speak about some of your favorite events? The first ones that come to mind? You've had so many over the years.
Yeah, I've been very privileged to see all kinds of things come through Northern BC. Some of my favorites. Well, Jerry Seinfeld was he was
amazing.
It was remarkable that he came to Prince George.
Did you get to meet him?
Very briefly.
Yeah.
I did. He kind of passed through on his way from basically the stage to his vehicle waiting inside to going on, and it was literally he jumped in his vehicle and was driven straight to the airport and jumped on a plane and away he went. So I wasn't here very long.
It must have been cool to see in person.
Yeah, as we are, that's arguably one of the most famous comedians on the planet.
Yeah, ever.
Here he is in Little Prince George. So yeah, that was a great one.
How about some concerts? You've seen some concerts along the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a great person to talk about seeing the concerts because often I'm in the office selling the shows, or the finances of the events need to be wrapped up before the show ends. So that's my job, is to try to get that all taken care of before the band gets on the buses and heads down the road.
Yeah, you're the executive side. I guess you have your hosts.
Yeah, we've got ushers and ticket takers and guest services people throughout the building. So I don't get to see them very often, but over the years, in fact, one band that came through many years ago, the Rankin family.
Yeah,
they had a show, and just within the week or so before that they came through, they'd had a death in the family. And so the family, that was kind of pervasive around the tour, right? That they, had some, that they were dealing with that unfortunate incident. And yet they came in and just delivered just a remarkable performance. So that was really a moment that I really treasure, is how you could just hear those people stepped up despite what they were dealing with.
It's emotional.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of emotion that night. So that was it was quite a show. Saw bits of it. I saw it. So went down to check it out before it came to Prince George and Kamloops. But when Kiss came to town,
cool.
Just the scale of their show to fit in our little building again was just unbelievable.
Whew, there's lots to talk about when it comes to events. But I'd also love to talk about, if you're okay with the other side of your life, where Chuck Wagon racing. And I see you wrote a book about 100 years of Chuck Wagon racing in Canada.
Yeah, so I really don't look like a cowboy today with my bow tie, but yeah, that's another passion of mine. So I've actually written 3 books about Chuck Wagon racing.
Wow, so you're a cowboy. So you're a legit cowboy.
Well, I wouldn't say a legit cowboy. I'm a legit cowboy writer.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, Chuck Wagon races. So their last year, or 2023, was the 100th year of Chuck Wagon racing at the Calgary Stampede, where it started originally for professional racing. And there's, in my perspective, it is the only unique professional sport to Canada. So any other sport, hockey, lacrosse, whatever, football, anyways, soccer, Canadians play it, but somebody else in the world plays it. But Chuck Wagon racing, it's only done by Canadians.
Really?
Only done here professionally in Canada. It's the only professional sport that we can say it is ours, and we're the best in the world at it.
Wow, and it's still a professional sport. That's amazing. Okay, does Prince George ever host?
It used to. So if you look at the field next to the CN Center, where you're talking about the rodeo grounds, so if you look at that, it's actually in an oval shape, and that's because there was a racetrack there.
Okay.
So when I first started working at CN Center, it was used as a racetrack, and they had, at that time, pony Chuck Wagon races, which was done by amateurs, in a sense that they were competing for prize money, but it wasn't on the professional circuit. And so they would host races there. And then, but even prior to that, in say the late 1970s, they did host some professional races at that site.
Very cool.
But just over time, people got out of it's costly. There's lots to it, and so the pony Chuck Wagons don't come to Prince George anymore, and the grandstand needed tearing down because the wooden seats and bleachers were wearing out, so that got pulled down, and sadly, but
that's sad
for Chuck Wagon racing.
Okay, well that's cool. It's part of our history. It is sad to think we won't have Chuck Wagon racing. It'd be cool to see.
Oh, it's quite something to see.
So can Chuck Wagon racers focus on that? They don't have to have their side jobs and stuff.
Oh, typically they have to have a side job because it's such a costly thing to do.
I guess a career that allows for that.
They need to have a career that they can work about 6 months of the year, and then the other 6 months that they're training the horses. Spring training for many of those guys will start here in the next week or two.
Okay.
And then they train for about 2 months, And then at the end of May, early June, the first races start up in Grand Prairie.
Okay.
And then they carry on from there.
Cool. So they just train their horses and then they just race, train the horses racing.
Yeah. So, the horses have a pretty great lifestyle. Then they race throughout the summer, but it's, they're not racing every weekend because they've got different teams that they'll use. So they want to get their horses in, prime condition for the start of the season in May, early June, and especially for the Stampede and Ponoka Stampede in early July.
Ponoka? Where is it? Okay.
Ponoka's got a big Stampede, July long weekend.
I gotta admit, I don't know where Ponoka is.
It's just near Red Deer, not too far.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Between Calgary and Edmonton.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
All winter, basically from the fall till now, the horses are out in pasture. So they just need to get, they're like any athlete.
Yeah.
So they just need to get trained into racing shape. So that's what happens.
It's easy to fall out of shape too. I'm out of shape right now. I was an athlete, but not so much anymore. It's hard to be an athlete in Prince George. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's hard to, as a retired guy that doesn't play sports anymore, it's easier just to go for a beer or something and watch sports, which is grateful for at CN Center. There's so much there.
The one thing about I would say about the CN Center is that it's compared to other venues of its size, it's probably punched above its weight. Part of that's been the support that we've got from people in Prince George as far as buying tickets and coming from all over the north to, we will see people come to our shows from Haida Gwaii. So they'll take the 6-hour ferry ride and then the 9-hour drive to come see shows here in Prince George. Of course, it's the easiest place for them to drive to without getting on a plane.
Yeah, we're lucky to have the CN Center here to be able to see that.
Yep.
The revenue alone, the business that you bring to Prince George with these events must be huge. I wonder if it's ever been added up. I guess it's hard. It's impossible.
Yeah, so there's different reporting mechanisms that people in the sport tourism business have developed. We have done this before, so you set up people to interview fans who come to the game or whatever event they are.
Yeah.
And then they kind of take down, where they're staying, where they're from, kind of get an approximate value of how much they're spending in the city every day. And then they just kind of develop these, there's different reporting mechanisms that have been created to kind of, based on the information that's gathered, that you can create, the economic impact statements. So you're right.
Yeah.
That it's been a significant impact.
Yeah.
For example, last year we hosted Ice Cube in April. And we had 5,000 people. It was a packed building for that. And I was just out front talking to our guests as they were coming in and asking them where they're from. And there was people who'd come down from Whitehorse. There was people who'd come up from or down from Dease Lake up in the northwest corner of the province. All kinds of people who come up from out west, Terrace, Rupert.
Oh, wow.
New Ionch, all those places out there. So, and also even from Williams Lake. They really came from all over the place.
Because they'd have to go a lot further to see him and people like him.
Yep. Yeah. So an event like that, in fact, that was for the first time we tried also doing a train. So we contacted Via Rail and worked with Colin Carson at Tourism PG.
He's a beauty.
Yep.
Yeah.
And worked with our colleagues out at CFNR, the radio station based out of Terrace.
Okay.
And so they had their morning show personality. She was the host on the train. And
cool.
It was like the Ice Cube train coming from. So they came out, saw Ice Cube, and then I think there was a Cougars playoff game the next day, and then they went back on the train after that. So
that's fun.
Yeah, it was super fun.
It's a good idea too. Mm-hmm. A lot of planning as well. You must have planned a lot in your day.
Well, yeah, with events, most of it's planning.
Yeah.
We start, already we're looking at events year and a half away.
Really?
So there's lots of planning. Recently, talk about planning, we just hosted Cirque du Soleil's Crystals show.
Okay, that's come and gone. I've heard good things.
And you talk about, some of the wonderful things that have come through Prince George, the Cirque du Soleil shows are some of the highlights for our venue and for our community. They're just truly world-class shows. Like the last show that came had 20 trucks worth of gear, and amazingly, they fit all that gear into our building. So, and that show brings people from there's 25 different countries represented by performers in that show, and then another maybe 50 crew, both the technicians and the producers and the managers to make that thing. Plus, they also bring their own catering company.
Wow. On the road with them.
On the road.
Okay.
So they travel and they have to set up, sometimes they set up their own kitchen. They were able to use our kitchen for their week in our venue. But they're telling me they set up in all kinds of strange places, their kitchen to feed the... You have to think, like you are... they really need to take care of their performers, right? Because they're athletes, like they're world-class athletes. And so you need to make sure they would have all different kinds of dietary expectations. You're dealing with people from around the world who would have different dietary desires. And so just to come in and expect the caterer from all these different arenas to be able to do it, what they need, doesn't make sense. So that's why they travel with their own food and beverage company.
Wow, it does make sense. That's a lot.
So like with that, as far as just handling the preparation of that, they've got to order their food in advance, and that arrives just on the kind of the day before that things kind of get loading in, and so that's all got to get looked after.
Wow, lots of logistics.
So many logistics to make those shows happen. People think, oh well, yeah, you know. Sometimes, yeah, I've seen Cirque du Soleil before, but there's not a real appreciation for the planning, like you mentioned, the logistics, all the work that actually goes into making that show actually come to Prince George and be in Prince George and then put on their show.
Well, cheers. Thank you very much. It's interesting to think how many stories you must have. Did you know any of the stories about any of the riders? So like what people ask for, mostly musicians, before the show? Or what they want to make.
Yeah, so I often see the riders because we have to work out the food requests or dressing room requests with our food and beverage partners, and then some of our operations staff have to set up. I mean, one of the strangest kind of room requests that we received was from Marilyn Manson.
That's not a surprise,
Yeah, no surprise there. He wanted his room all black. So the whole room black. So we had to, using our pipe and drape and whatever, we had to make the ceiling black, the walls black, everything black. Okay. Bathroom black. There's pipe and drape everywhere.
So you did it for him?
Oh yeah, I did it for him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that was one of the oddest things. The story goes about was it the Rolling Stones or Van Halen and their brown M&Ms, but basically they put that in there to try to make sure that they knew, you probably know this, but just so that people actually read what they were hoping for, right? They didn't really care about the M&Ms, but really they just wanted to make sure that the requests that they're the really important things were being looked after. So that's what we threw in that bait.
Yeah, I'm sure some people would do it too. Pull out the brown M&Ms.
Yeah, I would say that's one of the strengths of our venue is that both our operations staff, our food and beverage staff, our box office staff, our security and usher staff believe in trying to deliver the best experience as possible. And, if we try to say yes, and if there's issues they think it needs to get resolved, that we will do it as promptly and as capably as we can. And so that's the hospitality that we offer at the CN Center is one of our strengths, because it's not people take a lot of effort to get to Prince George. It's not an easy place to get to, and so they really are our guests. And we just want to treat them, as if they're coming to our house, home, right?
Wow.
And so that's really important for us all.
Yeah. Well, the community is lucky to have you. That's cool. So it creates more revenue for the city itself, but also people who live here. It creates jobs. It must have a lot of jobs.
Yeah, for sure, it creates jobs, right?
Yeah.
There's jobs for all the people who work in the concessions, people who, look after the people on our suite level. There's jobs for people who run the Zambonis and clean the building and do the guest services and the security and the box office staff.
The planning and the organizing. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, there's lots of implications for it. So it's the people who had the vision 30 years ago to build the facility and bring Western Hockey League to Prince George. And,
thankfully.
And I think they would be quite pleased with what their vision has meant for the city of Prince George in northern British Columbia.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty cool. And there must be a lot of upcoming events. I guess you speak of a year and a half in advance. You're planning and organizing and thinking of?
Yeah, always. Coming up into this year, we've got Badminton Overdrive with April 1 and Headpins coming in April. We've got the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on their farewell tour in May. We have been very fortunate to host the Northern Fan Con.
Okay. So. Yeah. With Norm Coyne?
With Norm Coyne.
That's another mutual contact too? Okay.
So that, to Norm's credit, he continues to bring that event to Prince George.
Yeah, good for him.
And it's done a lot for, the regional film industry. Yeah. It's given, it's just been people in the cosplay, the artists. It's just been a really tremendous event. I think it's underappreciated. That is actually one of my favorite events each year because it brings together a group of people that really don't have another place to come together as a community. And FanCon does that year after year. And it's just such a, it's got a really great vibe about it, right? It's just really welcoming and generous and creative group of people that come together. And it's kudos to Norm Coyne.
Good for him, Norm Coyne. He's another one that does a lot for this community. We should have him on. Jeff, let's have Norm Coyne on. That's a chim. Cool.
Yeah, Norm comes and goes.
Yeah.
But if you could get him up here, like maybe when he's up here during the week before FanCon, maybe you could get him here.
Well, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So that's a tremendous. And when you see that the cosplay and the effort that those people make into their costumes, it's fantastic.
Do you have any thoughts of any bands that you want to see here that you haven't had here yet, or do you have?
Oh, I'd have to give that a bit of thought. Yeah, there would be some.
Put you on the spot. Well, here's one that has been before, but she'd like to get her back. Avril Lavigne is one act. Oh, that would be
talking
great.
About Canadian acts, right? That she has toured. She has played smaller markets. I'd like to see her back. I'd like to see Nickelback back. Nickelback played here early 2000s. They actually played, I think it was 2004 and then 2006.
Nice.
They started their Canadian tour here and then finished it here. So within 3 months, they've played 2 sold-out shows.
Okay.
But they haven't been back since.
Well, they love it, obviously. They must.
Now they can play, 18,000 seat arenas and
they'll come back.
Yeah, but so it would be really nice to have them back. And it's not like we haven't tried to convince them to come back, but they've just had other priorities.
Yeah.
So
and Shania Twain was here, right?
Shania was here. It'd be she's a remarkable entertainer. She's got a few shows this year. She's playing the Saddle Dome in Calgary during the Stampede. So
nice.
She's got a few dates, so it'd be good to see her.
Yeah, Shania, come join us.
Yeah, it'd be great to have Shania here.
Yeah, everybody you just mentioned would be great. Yeah, those are good options.
Who else? Well, everybody says, some of the acts they throw out, like U2, it'd be great to see them, of course, but that's just an act that will just never play here.
Yeah.
Just too huge. So we have to kind of... another show that was really terrific was Keith Urban. He was here in 2016, so it's almost already been about 10 years. It'd be great to have Keith back. His show was fantastic.
Okay. Keith, come back. I bet.
So, but yeah, but you're right. COVID kind of twisted the journey of all these acts so that everybody's kind of expected, return to markets like ours, and touring in markets like ours just kind of it's been disrupted. So.
Yeah, there's so much talent, musical talent, out of Vancouver. It'd be nice if we could promote them more somehow in Prince George, and then just.
Speaking of Vancouver, that's who we should. We've tried, but we haven't yet. But Michael Bublé.
Oh, Bublé. Is he from Vancouver? I should know that.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Nice.
So we'd really like to see him here.
Okay.
So that if you actually ask for a Canadian act or an act that I would like to see come to Prince George, it would be Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé.
Mm-hmm. He's actually hosting the Junos here in Vancouver just the next end of March here. But yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's still doing well for himself.
Oh, he's doing very well for himself.
Amazing voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of Canadian singers, musicians.
And Shawn Mendes, be good to get him. Bieber, be good to get him here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just whenever they decide that they want to, go across Canada and hit all these. But who knows, right? Maybe with all this political disruption that we're seeing these days, maybe that'll carry on for another few years, and these Canadian acts will say, yeah, maybe it is time for me to tour across Canada and play the major cities plus smaller ones like ours. And
you might be right.
Yeah, there could
I
be.
hope so. Mm-hmm. But help local venues too. Help the musicians.
Yeah, and I think those type of tours will be. I think they probably will happen. Will be very well received, right? Yeah. People will respond to them if the artists go out with the right intentions and communicate that to people. I think that people will support them for sure.
Do you plan to retire with CN?
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah. It's still lots of fun. Yeah, yes. It's the job I have is I consider it a very privileged job.
Yeah.
To be able to have brought a lot of joy to people's lives.
And still more to come.
Yeah, it's there's varying careers that people have different abilities to make a positive impact on people's lives. Mm-hmm. This is just something that I'm able to do that it fits my strengths and talents, and to be able to enhance what people get to look forward to in Prince George and what has come to this city and made it a more livable city for people. It's been a real privilege. So yeah, I'm very fortunate to be able to do what I do.
Yeah, creating entertainment in Prince George.
Yeah, creating entertainment, but also experiences, right? The things that have come through, whether it's working together with the Cougars, those Western Hockey League games, and some of those experiences both for the fans and the players, but also whether it's concerts or it's a comedy show or whatever, we've just created memories and experiences that people have for the rest of their lives, right?
Yeah. Over 5,000 people have seen Jerry Seinfeld in northern BC.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some memories.
Yeah. So that's something people still treasure, right? They get lots of people who collect their ticket stubs and just when you start to talk to people about what they've seen in our facility over the last 30 years, right? There's many people who've had really resounding experiences that they treasure.
Yep.
And so to be able to be a small part of making that happen for people, what could be better, right? That just
yeah. And you'll continue.
The thing is, that if you don't like unpredictability, it's not the right place to work.
Yeah.
It changes all the time.
Yeah, it's not a 9 to 5.
No,
that's for sure.
And lots of problem solving.
Yeah, putting out fires all the time.
Yeah. Under the unpredictability of live events. Like we've had situations, right, where Buck Cherry many years ago was coming up here for a date after they were played down in Vancouver, and I wake up in the morning and hear that there's a forest fire taking place, and so the highway's closed. So I went,
How do you work around that?
Makes a difference for us, what we're trying to do. So, right, as soon as you wake up, you're trying to problem solve how to get the band up here and
the band. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
How do you get the bus around? Fire.
So that just takes extra time. So the people on the bus would be needed to help get the sound and lights set up in time. but they're not there. So then how do you deal with that, right? And even I think some of the touring gear was coming up. So just, adjusting our load-in time from maybe 8 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, and then just working together as a complete team.
Speeding everything up.
Yeah, to make sure that the doors open in time and people, have the experience they were expecting. But for everybody else behind the scenes, it was a
chaos.
Crazy day.
Yeah. So and it started on time.
Yep.
Nice. I found from my experience with events, not as much as you, but no matter how crazy it was, it seemed to always start on time. People would come in and everybody around them would be like, "Whoa," holding it together, but they'd have their entertaining time and then not even know what's going on around the scene.
Like when you come to the CN Center for the shows, you'll see all the speakers hanging and the lights, and like with that Cirque du Soleil show, there was 100 points created so they could hang their motors down from that. The Come From Away show, which we held, the Broadway show, which happened last October. Same thing, was about 80 points on a very constricted space above the stage, and these riggers are up there in the rafters climbing around like
it's crazy.
Yeah, like acrobats getting this stuff hung. And you don't see them when you come into the show, but they are an integral part of what we do.
They work hard.
Oh yeah. And they are just as I mentioned, they're so committed to their craft and helping us out to put on the shows that they go up on time.
Well, I would love to hear more stories, but our hour is up.
All right. Well, that was a quick hour.
Yeah, glad for me too, and entertaining. Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.